Lawnmower Man is the story of a telekinetic superhero who fights crime with his sentient space alien lawnmower adopted son. I mean, it really isn't, but that would have been pretty damn cool. Nah, Lawnmower Man is, in fact, the result of an unholy union between Carrie, Tron, and Forrest Gump. And no, that one is not a joke. That's basically what this is. 90s James Bond plays Dr. Angelo, a scientist specializing in virtual reality technology and strapping monkeys to hula hoop machines. At least until his best monkey goes hula mad and trigger happy, trying to escape the lab and start the monkey revolution. Think Caesar from Planet of the Apes, except portrayed as a hand puppet and killed within 3 minutes. So, that part's done now. So now Dr. Angelo really needs a new test subject for work. The experiments were actually meant to increase intelligence, but monkeys apparently get kinda twitchy, so what's better than a monkey? A mentally challenged landscaper. This is Simple Jack. Wait, no, this is Jobe. Jobe's brain don't work so good, but he loves building and using lawnmowers. He doesn't love being beaten by his priest landlord, though. That part kinda sucks. And so does getting bullied by Gas Station Man. But he occasionally gets to read comics and play VR games with his friend Peter, so that's fun. So anyway, Dr. Angelo starts injecting Jobe with brain juice, a different batch of brain juice than the monkeys got, which shouldn't cause aggression issues this time. And it works. Jobe's brain starts lighting up like a wrinkly disco ball, and suddenly he's good at all the video games. Except Dark Souls, but he tried. Things start looking up for Jobe. He gets to dress like Tron and spin around in a giant pair of balls with James Bond. He becomes smarter than a 5th grader, and then starts dressing up like the Marlboro Man so he can ride the community bicycle like the other grown-ups. But things start going sideways. Dr. Angelo's greedy supervisor, Lex Luthor, and the company's director, Hank, swap the good brain juice for the evil brain juice.
Brainwave parameters.
Brainwave pattern altered.
And then Jobe's next round of virtual reality brain surgery goes wrong and his brain swells up like a swollen brain. You think of something clever in the comments below. It's good for engagement. Help a brother out. Jobe develops telekinesis and telepathy, but also psychic headaches and an intense desire to mind-fuck his girlfriend Silly in VR. So that happens, and yep, her brains got mixed up like a damn McFlurry. Jobe then heads to the lab and injects himself with all the evil brain juice, and develops a craving for vengeance, literally mowing down Peter's abusive dad, de-rezzing Father Ted, and cutting Gas Station Man's brain down to size. Meanwhile, Dr. Angelo has had a very intense meeting where his bosses politely informed him his work will be used with the military. He doesn't like that and leaves, gets kidnapped, and then leaves again, seeing the fruits of Jobe's murderous labor after finally getting home. Jobe comes to see him and really tries to sell Dr. Angelo on the metaverse, but even Angelo knows it's lame and wants nothing to do with it.
I believe the metaverse is the next chapter for the internet.
Idiot. Goddamn idiot!
Suddenly, the company kill squad rolls up in the party wagon to assassinate Angelo, but Jobe turns them into human bubble wrap and Thanos snaps them away. And this particular effect looked as good here in 1992 as it does in Thor 4. Good job, Marvel Studios. Jobe claims the virtual world isn't quite so virtual, and he's becoming the cyberchrist of that parallel dimension. And yes, that's a direct quote.
Cyberchrist.
The two disagree, and after tying Dr. Angelo to a chair, Jobe heads off to the company to complete his digivolution into Cyberchristmon. He and his ride-or-die landscaper bro do a full frontal assault on the well-guarded front gate, assisted by a massive swarm of digital bees, summoned from the VR Wonderland, or some shit. Look, I don't know, okay, this whole damn thing went off the rails like 15 minutes ago, and I'm losing my shit over here. Sadly, Landscaper Bro gets camped by a chump in a turtleneck sweater, to which Jobe telepathically makes him unalive himself. Cut to Angelo, Peter, and Mrs. Peter's mom driving casually in awkward silence. Then cut to Lex Luthor trying to rip his Nirvana CDs, when suddenly Jobe arrives to dish out some violent retribution against the bald music pirate. He gets turned into Vector Man for his crimes. So Jobe climbs once more into the game sphere to upload his innards and become the world's first CGI Cenobite. Angelo arrives and, after isolating the company mainframe so Jobe can't spread to outside networks, starts planning explosives around the building, taking time to admire the lifelike practical effects made for the movie.
Nice models!
We're also gonna pretend like Jobe's body wasn't mummified here, even though his frickin' head is gone in this shot, because otherwise the sequel can't happen. Angelo mounts up in his own hamster ball and takes the form of the Silver Surfer to battle Jobe in cyberspace. And by battle, I actually mean float in place like a dumb and get swatted away until Jobe decides to crucify him. Our hero, ladies and gentlemen. Would you believe this man went on to fistfight a tree? Jobe tortures him a bit, hitting him with Cyclops eye beams and the dreaded double wet willy, until Peter enters the soon-to-kaboom building just in time to become a casualty. Except Jobe still has a heart and cares about his little friend, and sets Angelo free to rescue the boy.
Peter. Peter is here.
He's in here, he's gonna die!
I don't want more death. Save him.
The building explodes, and Peter momentarily transforms into a grown-ass stuntwoman to dramatically dive away from the flames. But the pair survive. Jobe, meanwhile, finally gets to do the one thing he never got to try with his girlfriend. Enter the back door.
Out that door!
Sometime later, Angelo is preparing to move with both Peter and his mom. He vows to continue his work underground, where no government or military can interfere. Just as they prepare to leave, the phone rings. All around the world, in fact, as Jobe wants to tell everyone the good news about Cyberchrist. Wow. Subscribe for more like this. So yeah, this thing was based on a short story by Stephen King, who's already a rooty-tooty wackadoodie, but when you add a dash of Hollywood and a serving of 1992 CGI to the mix, you get whatever the hell this is. I had a good time, don't get me wrong. I really enjoyed the character work in the beginning portion. Jobe is very easy to sympathize with. He's just a simple-minded guy trying to make the best of the hand he was dealt, despite being whipped and beaten down by the embodiment of Stephen King's tired-ass hatred of religion. And the actor Jeff Fahey has those sad Frodo eyes that carried Elijah Wood through the entire Lord of the Rings trilogy. And Pierce Brosnan does well as a beleaguered scientist who loses grip of his morals just long enough to maybe accidentally give birth to a digital devil. Oops. But it's all a bit broad and sadly pretty undercooked. Jeff Fahey did a good job making you feel for Jobe, but a big chunk of his descent into villainy is comprised of awkward computer graphics that immediately detach you from the character and all emotions. I mean, every time Cyber Jobe is on screen, I'm having Vietnam flashbacks to the real adventures of Johnny Quest, and it's hard to focus on a movie when I'm curled up on the floor reliving childhood traumas. If anything, this movie sprung into existence about 10 years too early, minimum. I'm not saying it would have been an instant classic if it released in the early 2000s, but the CGI parts might have at least looked better than Beast Wars. As it is, it's an alright way to pass some time if anything you heard or saw here makes you curious. It's actually free on YouTube right now as part of Creature Features, which is how I finally watched it, so there's an easy option. It's not good, but there are some good things in it. The sequel, on the other hand, is a goddamn masterpiece, and the only reason I finally watched this one is so I could review that one. Stay tuned. I'm baffled, and hope to see you all next time. Bye!